This conference will now be recorded.
They are, yeah. Going. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call?
Mullen.
Here.
Everhart.
Here.
Malott.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Shriver.
Here.
Adcox.
Here.
Thank you.
Consent agenda, A and B, approval of the minutes of the special meeting for 15. Approval of the statement of bills paid in the amount of $544,487.52.
Mayor, I'd like to pull the statement of bills until the next meeting. I thought there might be questions that need to be asked. Approved.
Considering the table up to the following meeting. Just need a second. Second. Did you catch that motion?
Mm-hmm.
The motion from Councilman Malott, a second from Councilman Shriver, will the clerk please call roll?
Everhart.
Yes.
Malott.
Yes.
Shriver.
Yes.
Adcox.
Yes.
Mullen.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
My reason for that is because I'd like to have time to study the bills on one hand.
Item number 5 is request for comments from the public. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 6, which is just round table discussion for governing body. So we'll move down the table, just use an opportunity. We have a really light agenda today since some of our staff is out of town. An opportunity for governing body to just have some discussion for future goals and thoughts. We don't get very often the opportunity to do in public meeting. And then we'll probably wrap it up early tonight.
It's working for now, but just in case it decides to stop. Thank you.
The backup audio system, just in case. Okay, so just as I mentioned before, when we were missing our interim city manager, missing our city attorney, we don't often get the opportunity to just have discussion first. So that would be a good time to just have some of that discussion. I know the city council really thought that's nice issue before, like we don't have many workshops, we don't have any retreats, so we have a little bit of time set aside overall. Already, is already on our calendars, so it'd be a good opportunity to discuss some things, goals, what do we want to see, we're kind of in the thick of budget season, things that we might want, information for the rest of the budget. And then I had a couple of things that just residents of my season, overall, 2 months that I got, we can see, you know, we've already always done things a certain way, but how we want to continue, or do we want to? We'll just get started, and everybody can chime in, and if you have more, things, we'll try to get this portion out by 6:35, 6:40, and you'll only need my guys. A couple of these two things kind of go together, and, I'd asked this in our city managers before, when people were asking me about the size of the roads. So if you look at maybe 8th Street, you look at, Richmond, I do it was wrong for a second. Now we're making things pretty regularly on the street. Because the roads are so flat, which is, it's good to have flat roads that people aren't worried about scraping on the bottom of their cars, but then the other side of that is are we over developing the size of the road, are we taking too much of this property? Part of that comes with the funding, so they have all these checkboxes that we have this plan. Or, you know, it's basically a scoring system, and whoever checks in those boxes is most likely. And usually those are 80/20. So it's very enticing to do the time for that. Brian and our public works directors and sometimes dealing with that and dealing with the mark cost ends up costing us more than if we didn't have it at all. And so when I asked, well, why are we doing streets this way? Why are we thinking these so right? It was, what was the policy for the time? Or everybody has discussed it for quite some time, and is that what we want our policy to be moving forward? Have some, maybe make some other recommendations for us.
I did have a president say that he used the word she doesn't.
Second, we'll move out. That's usually the word open.
Hey, you guys, can I get you to speak up? It's either that or I'm gonna have to turn the air conditioner off. Because it's not picking up, so I know, I'm sorry, you guys.
I can't hear. I'm not right here.
So I can turn it off if you want, but I just don't want you guys to get hot.
I'm a loud talker.
Can you turn it on low and then just turn it towards them?
I do not want to lose the funding, so I know there's a fine line. I'm not an expert on the roads where the specifications and some of the history of where we've gone and taken maybe too much, which I wouldn't say that we as a city have gone and maybe wrote the law better because we wanted to. I'm pretty sure we followed all those specifications to get the funding, so. And I don't know, I mean, I'm totally open to looking at roadways that didn't have to be that wide, but I don't know for safety concerns, if that's, are we going to give up a little bit of safety to save a little money? I don't know. I'm not a road expert on, we have that Pacer State ratings that, but no, always open to look at avenues, always open to look at that. And I really don't quite remember us as a city making those. I'm sure we did at some point, but it's
We
been a
did
while.
on 98th Street.
Right.
I don't think it was the most popular decision from the whole council. But it was. Basically, not helping out by going on up to 98.
You can tell where it ends, right?
And coming south, but it was making a pretty vital north south road. If you remember 7 or 8 meetings ago, I said something about work on 435. And they changed it over to 2 lanes and you got traffic all the way up to 5. 40 people go off. We saw that, they come off on Kansas and they come down. And they're going I'm in favor of the improvement, and I'm in favor of the grant. Isn't there some kind of negotiating tactic that could be done with KDOT to get rid of that ATV sidewalk on one side, walking sidewalk? I say get rid of the ATV sidewalk. And have people out.
Or the traditional sidewalk instead of multi-use.
Four-foot sidewalk. One side. That's if there's any kind of negotiating tactic you can do. And I'm too new on the mark board to understand how to ask for that question. Mark seems to me like we'll be able to have a lot more of the trash issues in the survey. And not so much Kansas. They will approve the discounts on emergency vehicles. I'll tell you where you can buy police cars. It doesn't seem like they're that mixed up. I think they're obviously negotiating with the KDOT. Hey, man, look at the city and tell us why do we have to have 8-foot sidewalk on one and not just one side. I mean, if there's anybody in the city hall, maybe Doug can do that. Maybe Ron can do that. Maybe you can find something. We'll figure out the budget process a little better. You don't want to give up that 80-20. You won't get anything with chicken soup. We all know that's when the road this thick, and they're irreparable. Anything you can do is grind that down, put chicken soup.
And just so eliminating the sidewalk on one side will help with the land acquisition.
So you can move the road, kind of help people out so they're not stepping on the 24th on the street. You won't do that. They north of Kansas Avenue, there was room to do that, whether it make people mad or not, you know, whatever. I mean, if you make people mad, you're doing it for the better of the crime community. If it's for the better of the city, that's what it's for. But if it's an inconvenience, or it's going to be on 98th Street, when it starts coming south, that's where you got.
That's what it's going to be long.
I know that's a project that could almost just be quit and restudied. If you can do it. We really need to have a city manager here. I'm uncomfortable without having a city manager and or city attorney here.
Well, we're not making any policy, but I think it's.
That's my personal opinion. I'm just, you know, not really about how that's it. And streets. We need streets. The next one I would go for, oh, excuse me, the wood. The horrible. Absolutely horrible. We still got a sand company down there, not from half the road from out. They're just grinding that asphalt off. People down there die. So the sand company. They're coming out, the road's coming off the side. It's like up at 8, back up at the Smith Company. We just got done redoing that road, and there's gravel all over, coming off. So we're just grinding the road, grinding the thin road. And they're already doing it. That's, to me, that's the issue. You've got ordinances about that. Violating the ordinances, you should violate them. My opinion, and I'm not going to move tonight, so.
Mike and Christie, what are your thoughts on the streets?
As far as the country, I think that's the way we do it. I think that should have happened. As far as the streets, Richmond's really nice. Very impressive how they did it. It was really solid rather than paved. This was cheap. And so, other than that, I wish every road was like that. I think a lot of people would be happy.
Richmond, absolutely. When I grew up, that was like maybe 12 feet wide. And the trailer houses, on the north side. School buses made the canopy. Agreed.
Christie, I like the. I think it's good to get feedback from staff.
I think there, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there's extra funding or grants and you're putting in the sidewalk to the trails because that's from other people. So, you know, so, but I didn't know if it necessarily has to go along with the roads.
There's two different sources of funding. The MARC funding, you get the more likely to get the 80/20 funding if you check their certain environmental boxes. The hard part about the MARC funding is then we have to go through KDOT red tape, and that's the grants that almost makes it more expensive rather than on our own. Because of the whole of the.
Right.
Just all of the infrastructure. Now the other federal funding that we received through the city of Kansas didn't have anything to do with the road project. That was just purely for infrastructure improvements, specifically when we're interested in looking at sidewalk by the schools.
Right, right.
And that connects to DP, so it was a different funding avenue. That didn't really get along with the street. So those are different for school as well, like, and that way we can place sidewalks intentionally and where they would make sense instead of like throwing on every single street necessarily. Like some of the streets have 3 houses and some have 30, so that doesn't make sense. And then we have to keep those in keep learn in perpetuity and together.
So I know we have a fairly up-to-date page rate. You guys know what the page rate is.
So it's the map that Margaret showed that has the streets in red or in the worst shape, the yellow is like okay, green or in the worst streets. that are
And
in good
it's-
shape.
My heartburn with that is the guys that did that came from Emporia and Jeff Foster. I don't know that there was anybody in the city involved with the city with them right now and saying, well, look at this street here. You know, you're going by here, kind of like the way they evaluate houses, with a camera out the side of the room. They don't know what my house is. They need to know the street. Do you agree with that, as a police officer, when you drive the streets? You know, somebody familiar with the street should at least be with them.
I would hope that they go around and drive.
The one guy, remember the one guy that came up here and gave you a report, he said, here, I've got the report for Iowa for you. You remember when he stood right in the middle? It's in Iowa.
Right.
Oh. Edwardsville.
Right.
It's definitely, it's like something drilled down into the street and all of that when they were here, but that's something we can find out for sure.
Yeah. Or somebody that lives here, you know, maybe, I mean, you know, I just, if you're gonna be spending that kind of money, I want somebody to, I want the same doctor, you know. Bill Brian can do it, but I don't know if he ever. Because hey, he wasn't, probably he wasn't here.
Right, he wasn't here.
I think we've had one since.
Yeah,
right?
we
I had one.
We have.
It's not been that long.
A history?
Yeah.
The guy came in.
What was last year?
Yeah.
That's right.
But, I don't know. I'll ask. That would have. Did we pay for that? Yeah, we paid for that.
The second one we paid for, the first one was to be done.
Right. Right.
And then we fixed up some of the streets and the time had gone on and it was time to get it updated now, so.
Right.
Yeah, that would be good to find out for sure.
Well, that was one thing I like. When was the last time we worked on River Road? Doesn't seem like it's been that long.
That's a long time.
We did a spray on basically on the top of it.
Just
but
a
it's
Band-Aid,
safe.
a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I think, Dustin did something down there. He did that,
Right.
that super new micro and stuff. I would have to about 3 years. It takes about 3 months for us to get into the arena.
I think it rained a lot.
Yeah. It was a real micro. This is the new stuff.
Um,
But we're in it. It's good. need to take care of it.
That's a big part of our economy there. One thing that's kind of recently brought up some of the area was, not area, was the flooding, and they were exceptional this year. But in Old Town, it's not perfect ever really, it's kind of pools in the areas. And I don't know if that's something that we'd be interested in pursuing in the next couple of years, along with our street investments, is at least better coordinated with that. But I wanted to listen to you guys on that, and then you can bring it to your staff.
I think one thing, and don't let me talk, I mean, somebody shut up if you want to. The property, if it's Lois Roberts that owns it on the west side of the bank, whoever owns that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mean, that's.
No, the property is the teacher, Dollar General, post office, gas station, also, it's teacher, that walk in there.
In between, where the grass was that high.
Right, in between, and then it goes out behind the dollar store and the gas station, and then it's a rectangle. So it's a T-shaped piece of property that makes it real hard to plan anything for. That's where the drainage needs to occur. Dustin did go out there one time and cut a ditch from where the ATM machine is, southwest, put it on the railroad. So they're on down on the grading of the road, where it went to the west. And it's all fixed with black rock, but it's coming back. And then that street, if we're still calling that Fourth Street, needs to be redone. And it could probably be paved.
Which street are we talking about?
On the west side of the ATM, when you pull out of the ATM, we're calling that Fourth, Fifth.
Oh, no, yes.
Third Street.
That's what confused me.
Third Street. And I don't know whose property. I don't think that was the property. But we're calling it.
Well, we better find out. I'm not really gonna ask for usage of
I
that.
know that one, that's West Street, you mean? They decided we're gonna put a street there on the coast highway.
Right?
I don't know if the bank knows about that. Gail did, but I don't know if they're. So, you guys know what they're trying to do?
Close the whole intersection.
When they close 30, when they close 32 high, they're not going to be playing with that. They're thinking, you know, they thought we can put a street that where Phillips Station is, and the bank, we can put a street there and cut a street on the south side of 032, which is leaving us.
I remember that being a thing.
It takes you to another thing. That they want to put a street there. So that's going to bring off a lot of truck traffic down here. They don't know they can't go through. We're going to be figuring out how they're going to turn that bridge around. We're going to be drawing it there, and then down Fourth Street. And how we're going to go to get over the Fourth Street. I don't know that KDOT did much research.
I think Mark said that if they did a partial closure, it would just elongate that project or even longer. If they did a partial closure, did that work? That was, oh.
Well, but they can't do a partial closure because the pipes go catty corner across the highway. So it will be a full closure is what the last thing Mark had said, but I wasn't trained to interrupt him.
No, that's why we should have.
Well, he deserves a vacation too.
Thank you.
Well, and it did begin a little bit, so Doug's vacation was planned way before.
No, I'm okay.
So he could, you're right, he was near. Yeah, and so, and particularly the concern of Ross Tyson was something that happened for their partners. Weeks after the training and things like that. So essentially looking at whether it's for the better or, better.
Look into that.
Are they doing curb and gutter with the sidewalk project they're doing around City Hall? Does that have curb and gutter?
I street on the sidewalk. So Chantal just asked if they're gonna work together with the sidewalk project around City Hall. But that's part of the connector trail, and so we'll have to double check on that. And that's been put off and put off for so long. But now we'll be off with construction, so that might be a blessing in disguise for driving equipment for a sidewalk. Let's see, I just had a couple of like conversation pieces. I'm just keep us going, and then, you guys have anything, we'll talk about it pretty soon. We don't need to do site policy, right? The one thing that was a little bit surprising to me, we had Garrett mentioned this too, when the group came in to us recently for development, of course, we want, good partnership in our community, and people to bring business to Edwardsville, especially if it'll be a good fit for our city. But when we're talking about incentive, economic development incentive, is what our policy is, such and such percent. Well, we haven't discussed the economic development incentive policy for at least 7 years. And so I thought it might be a good idea, not tonight, but I just wanted to input on, maybe having, we just hired an economic development contractor, Mr. Richardson, come in and discuss with us and reestablishing what we want as a council for economic development, instead of just using a policy from a decade or so ago to update that. I think that we're probably in a different season now, especially with new developments coming in the area, that we don't feel like we need to give everything away. We certainly don't really about to help to bring in this one thing, but we don't want, I don't think, at least I would want a policy where we'll use it for this one, so that it's automatically for somebody else. Well, and you guys on.
Oh, consistency. Oh, that's not, big one on consistency, but, sometimes each case is a different situation. If that makes sense. A lot of times. I mean, you know, there's different asks, you know, as far as, I don't know, it's hard to even say examples, but a good baseline policy is good, and always been for what is.
Well, I feel like the purpose of an incentive is to get the first development in, and then after that, you don't need to do it to every single person that comes in. Because once they're coming in, you don't need to, like, they're not citing pressure anymore. You know what I mean? That's there and established, and so it's to bring in the staple development, and then the other ones, you don't have to necessarily incentivize them, because every bit that you're incentivizing is less tax money that's coming in, and that's an offset for residents. But they have different things based on, okay, they have an industry, they have an sewer. There's
Right.
incentives like that we can give where they pay up front, and then, because they're built into our infrastructure, where other ones it's already done and ready to roll.
And we wouldn't want to spend.
Right.
This last developer, they were going to contribute to Edwardsville in a way that maybe never developed. Right? So it would be pretty different from the things.
I think it's good enough. And I feel like that last. My thoughts would be not to have such a stringent policy to where.
You're talking about the. That's the plaza. That's one. I bet what keeps thinking on that. You know, after they. You know, not even a deal, but little history where I grew up, the house up there has been sitting there vacant for so long, and now they're working on it. It was gonna be an event center. The house was gonna be the drive. Down the road where it's rather out there, used to be two farms, but they were gonna build a real nice event, like the cider house, or something like that. And usually there was two, well, they got two or figured out, they had to do a new process. They can think, just right, go right up there, for time, and see what interesting is. Go to the cement, and you just go up and down there, and see how wide is that one picked out. Just can't do it. But they can do it anywhere else. That doesn't matter. That honor it. Well, they're gonna, something's gonna happen. And then a partner, is going to approve across the aisle. It's gonna be trucks. Like an office thing, and trucks, and you're working on it. Hey, that man, didn't have any problem.
Speak up.
Hey, that didn't have any problem with it. So, I was a comedian in my whole life. But that's one of the things, yeah, maybe we were a little bit too stringent on what they want. I mean, I appreciate the outside of the building. But it's not an issue that we haven't dealt with before. Like we, now Dunsville is right up on the hill. Right up on the hill. We had that. We had the same thing, where the rat factory is. We traveled around. I mean, all of that stuff. It's not something we can't work around. But I'm gonna keep playing. We're losing them.
I just thought it was a little, to me, shocking when they came in and said, well, this is the expectation set because this is your past practice for incentive. When we had, the last incentive I think we talked about was Hard Rock Hotel, and that wasn't policy by any means. It was so unique. And so they're using the past practice as a policy to offer investors before they even talk to us. And so that was kind of my, wait, that's our policy. We didn't, we haven't talked about that in a long time. What do you guys?
Big time. I want
Yeah. Yeah.
seriously, I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe not part of it. Company comes in. Just like anybody else. Take the burden off. I don't think it should be part of it. I mean, more than a household. Says it. Right. And right now.
Well, especially when you consider going of some of the incentives and we're in here with on the infrastructure and then you have companies that have first responder calls and things like that, that is on the back of the residents until they're getting their piece of it. So I think it's important. Kind of update, kind of keep the people on it and update what we want to still look like going forward. It wouldn't necessarily have to be cookie cutter because things are right, but I think going in and starting in at whatever percentage just because somebody knocked on our door might not be the best policy. I see what your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it needs to be respected. I don't want to ever run a business off that's going to benefit everyone. So that's where there's a little bit there. If they're not going to stay because they're incentives, then in the long run, it's better. I think it's tricky. I think it's definitely.
Didn't you give Ladder West West? Was it? 80? What did you give them as incentive?
The most recent one,
Yeah, the most recent, it wasn't like 100% tax rebate for until 10 years back. It started low.
it started higher and then tapered off, and so it averaged, I think about 60, over, oh yeah, that's it for me. It tapered off over 10 or 20 years. So it started here and tapered down. So that when they were first taking their big costs out of pocket, it wouldn't be as big of it, but at the same time, we negotiated,
But we were making,
a fee.
we weren't getting hurt. I don't think we were getting hurt. We were gonna get pretty quick.
Hopefully, there's no guarantee of it, but with the negotiation of the, development agreement that's coming in, where they're giving funds to the city of Edwardsville specifically, and that'll offset, so it will be limited to our residents. Compared to 400. Yes.
400.
Right.
That's the kind of, that was a single negotiation. And that's what. But that single negotiation with that particular piece of property, why can't that be done? One of the best companies we ever got. And the large, that was really, that's what started this whole. We gave them like 10-year cap abatements from like 100% up to 10 years. Camp man, don't do anything.
No, no.
Don't let them. Well, they've been very good. I mean, they know what they want to do. They're in the perfect spot. Well, I think in individual basis, we have a new man, a new person.
His contract.
That's
So-
step one.
And then we also have the, group that we hired to do the study, to tell them what the needs are in the future forecast for the economic development of the city, and what would be the best fit for our location, for the businesses that are already here and the people traveling. Yeah, so all of that's kind of lining up, and so it would be a good time to revisit that, so we don't have, and we have potential development coming in really close by. And so with that in mind, we're not going to be necessarily such an island anymore, and I don't think we need to beg for businesses to come in and just to get a good ship.
Yeah, I know. I said, I think we're gonna benefit from buses coming in. Yeah, and that property right there, because people travel under buses and it's working their travel. And when they do that, they're gonna want to get buses. And then we have something over here on our side of this, kind of, we were here while they're here, or it will benefit them, and I think they just are like, we're going to what would be best or what's successful by buses.
We gotta get something put in the game first.
That's one thing I would like, at one point, Josh, our city attorney, give us some kind of an update. When is our land use reopened? When is something to be able to move up there? Would be nice to know, just a.
Let's leave it alone. I think there's been that very much before.
Good.
We're gonna transition pretty soon. I wanna make sure if anyone has anything else that they want to discuss as a group, because we don't get the opportunity very often. And then if not, we'll move on to the council comments and one more thing.
I think we need to know the a city plan. Because of the stuff that we're talking about right now. And I don't know what the permitting issue is right now. I'm not permits, people are doing a lot of stuff without permits. Code enforcement, we're doing on enforcement codes, checking things out. But I don't think it's sort of.
I can't hear.
I don't know that we're right there yet, because we don't have the development and things to bring into fund it. And I'm not a taxpayer. So, if we do that, we have to, we have a certain amount of money. And so we also want to give our staff increases in pay. And so at a certain point, you have to pick and choose.
That's why we could have president, what we no matter on thesis. walk in and department here with the planning, that could use some of the burden off some of the people that can't permitted planning process and stuff like that.
So this is the long term on that, is that would be a permanent decision on never hiring an assistant city manager. Because otherwise we hire that back on and then we have to pay salaries. So if we're not gonna hire that position back on, it's the but having that position, if we don't bring that, then again,
I think
that's
that's
what
something
we
that
make
needs to be
us staff.
studied pretty bad. People, you know, I think it's big one, I get it.
You think our codes enforcement,
I think it's very,
how many codes enforcement officers?
they only need one, but they need.
Well, you have a full-time, now what they're doing is,
Well, I don't know, I don't understand that they did that post office building, and there was remodeling and wiring and stuff. And they never had any permits or-
Yes, it does.
And that they-
I've done the permits for it.
When did you do it?
The electrical one I did 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Mhm.
And you passed and all that?
Mhm.
So is that mostly raising rent 70%?
We don't have anything to do with that.
That's big. That's 20.
And we can't do anything about it.
now we put the codes, updates, like in
Crazy
codes
crap,
we already
but I-
have, but raise
Oh, I-
It's single-handedly manufactured.
I know, and
And they're disappointed. They're disappointed.
and that's part of free market as well, but, as far as slumlords, I think that's something we could discuss for codes enforcement. And making sure that, especially people that are renting out properties in the city, that it's not deteriorating.
Just because you don't see it instantly, result in something's not going on, paperwork's not going on. See, if that happens, people were sent out to them, and it's constant, sending paperwork out. They're trying to, do stuff. You just don't see it. Because people that are doing something fine. So you gotta put that. That code officers probably sending out letters to these residents, and hey, fines are gonna be put in place.
Kind of like about 310.
It's just,
property
it's the
owner.
legality. of
Yeah.
things. So you gotta remember that it's a process. It's not like, it's not a quick fix.
The police side of it, I like to do.
Yeah, it's just not a quick fix. Every day.
That's true, because we see it every day,
Yeah.
so they don't know,
Yeah.
they're really working behind the scenes, we just don't necessarily see
You
it.
drive by that residence, making this guy do his job, that's really sending letters to the residents.
when I complain about the tall grass, and I want to cut that in an hour after. It's not.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's just-
That's how that works,
It's a
Karen.
14, our process is a 14-day process.
You know what, it was years ago, and I had to ask, literally ask that process. I totally get it now. You don't think anything's happening?
I prefaced everything.
Can I interrupt on that too? Kind of like Garrett, all the sheds that showed up on K32. The minute I got the phone call when Brian was on his way home, I went up there, Seth and I went up there, called code enforcement. He cited them a 10-day letter to move the 7 that were sitting up there. But we have to give them time to do those things. So they have 10 days to move them or we will remove them. Right? They're cute.
The little things that are on the little house thing,
Yes.
that somebody just parked them there.
Yes.
Like-
The landowner.
What if I park them
He owns the land.
there?
Well, I think we will transition back to council comments. And, I think it's always healthy to be able to have a discussion as we.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear everybody's input once in a while. Well, maybe.
That was a Good talk. We were just getting started.
I don't know what that is. Fair conditioner work.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you for being a part of that. I think it's just good to hear different perspective once in a while. We will start with Councilman Atlas. Do you have any comments or thoughts for the evening? Councilman Shriver?
Just a couple of comments. I've noticed, I don't know, Chantal, I've noticed some fire hydrants painted in the city. If that was Public Works, Fire Department,
It's Public Works, they painted 157 fire hydrants.
they look absolutely outstanding. Please pass that on.
I will.
to all. I know that's a lot of work.
It's her summer job.
I didn't know, how many are in Edwardsville? 100?
I think it was 157 is what she told me that she painted.
Very nice, very nice. I've seen some chatter, heard some comments, this and that, and I really don't know, and maybe we've talked about it, about some cameras in the city on some of the streets. Is there, especially 110th, are those city cameras, are they, and if you can't answer them, then.
I don't, neither one of the chiefs are here, so
Okay.
I remember him saying there was one at 4th and K32 that I want to say
Right,
case,
Right. We had, I thought we had like a.
but I don't know. I don't, and again, neither one of the police chiefs are here, so I don't know.
But I feel like we put one down where there was like dumping going on. But up on 110th, and I'm like, I've seen this, and like I said, I try not to like feed off of social media. I've seen it enough to where I'm a big proponent on people asking on social media. You're asking the wrong place, call City Hall. or
They're worried
call
about the
this
flock
or-
cameras. I've seen it.
Right. But, and I would rather be prepared if somebody asks me, to
Mhm.
know really what it is, so.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I can shoot an email to one of the chiefs or whatever, but maybe in the next meeting we'll get some answers.
Yep, I'll find out for you.
And kudos to all the employees here having to work with portable air conditioners. Who knew it was gonna be 100 blazing degrees for you all, so. I would also like to know, were we charged for the hazardous waste day in KCK, Wyandotte County? Do you know?
I have not seen a bill.
Okay.
I'll look.
I'll remember to ask that next time, because that was worded in a way it was free for all of us, all of Wyandotte County residents, that's what I read, so.
Well, I sign
all
off.
the way to the bank, so.
I sign off on every invoice to approve it, but I don't know, because they've never charged us before, so I don't know how we're going to be billed for that, but I will watch for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's all I have.
Councilman Mott?
I'm gonna start with saying I'm sorry, my comments on codes. Obviously, I was corrected. And I appreciate being corrected, and I want the police department to know that I apologize for that. Some things I don't understand, and sometimes when I get going, I don't stop. Some of the things got me a little over. I think Brian is gonna do the blessing on the irrigation of the park tomorrow. I talked to him today, and I think that there might be a initial voyage for that, so it should be kind of interesting. I'm gonna try and go down there and see that. I want to really commend him on the work that they did. They found the water line, they got it all hooked up, they got spigots on it. I think they're ready to plug it in and turn it on, so it's gonna be kind of fun to see that. Might be time for the water.
That's the plan.
I don't know if you guys do that. I'm pretty nosy, I go around and do that. I think Brian lost a couple of employees this week, so you have to be considering salaries in this budget. Salaries. And everybody should be aware of that. I'm gonna put my people down on that budget. Be ready. Thank you.
Councilman Everett? Councilman Mott?
On August 1st, I'll have just one item.
5.
Oh, five.
They have to be out by 6.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No,
There was, I'm sorry to interrupt. There was, I think on the hot shot, it lists a whole list of.
We have the whole list from,
I mean, it's a, I'm like, it was incredible.
it's on Facebook too.
The email comes out on Fridays, but. Right.
It's on the Facebook page too, Mike.
If it's not acceptable, they won't pick it up. Right? So give it a
You'll
try.
know, you'll know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had told Mark Matthews this, and he didn't seem interested, and I doubt if the council will be very interested either. But there's some property at Williamson Farms, and it's at the south end of 105th Street, where the kind of holes are, the like retention things. It's 1832 Shelton and 10437 Barber. Steve Shelton owns them, and he would be willing to donate that property to the city. Thing is, you gotta look at it and see what would it be good for. So it's kind of retention area. Maybe some people with some imagination could go look at that and say, oh, yeah. we can do something.
Well, what was the second address on that?
It was 1832 Shelton and 10437 Barber.
Thank you.
And the people that live up there know exactly where I'm talking.
Okay.
But it could be free property if you could figure out something to do with it. He was willing to give that.
Wonderful. Well, we are moving right along. Just had a couple of updates on my notes for everybody. Great news. Actually applied for Hollywood Casino Grant through Unified Government. We got a couple of commissioners, I believe, looking out for our behalf on there as well, and we were approved $5,500 for the new library for makerspace equipment in there. So great news there. We also should have some funding ready for a sunshade over the playground equipment through Fastenal. I imagine we'll probably be getting some updates on that pretty soon. And then wanted to share a compliment that our Public Works Department received from the CPPS board chairman. And I'll just kind of in a nutshell, he just said that there was considerable, and a lot of us have seen this through that really rough storm that came through, considerable damage and fallen trees in the cemetery. Things that our Public Works Director Ryan was very sensitive to making sure that the remediation work didn't do any further damage to some of the aged tombstones. He wanted to commend Brian and the Public Works team for the strategic effort in the cleanup process and dealing with a big unscheduled mess that they had to clean up. The community really appreciated them getting out and doing the extra work for that. I think that was quite a bit. So just wanted to take a minute and pass that along, and I'll send the email along to staff as well, so they can pass it along to the Public Works team. With that note, have a great evening. We'll see you guys next time.